long journey with these audios, and I think you are getting desperate in the process. Let's talk with you. Jesse, how do you feel with your listening, with how you understand stuff, with with the thing we tested yesterday? Your
I
progress in this moment.
I think that my progress, well, uh, by myself, I feel that um, I understand English, American English,
Mhm.
more than English, no, written English.
Written English. Written es
Uh,
escrito, ¿no?
Written English, yes.
Okay.
But yesterday I feel that it's more about vocabulary.
Mhm.
No, I need to know how to pronounce in the British kind, in the
The
British
British what?
English. Uh, I want to say tipo is kind,
I don't hear you. In the British what? Can you repeat that?
and I need to practice or start to listen the British vocabulary. Vocabulary.
More like accent, because it's
Yes,
not a different
accent.
vocabulary,
Yes.
it's the same. It's only a different pronunciation. That's it.
Mm,
But if you are familiar, something that we were talking uh, with Rox about yesterday. We talked about the like she said something important. I just want to speak English in general.
mhm.
I don't want to speak British specifically. The thing about British and English or American English is that it's the same, you know? So
Yes.
it's very strange. Like especially for me, it's very, very strange to see that we understand American English, but we don't understand British English. It's so strange to me because in technically it is the same. There is no difference between one and another more than the accent, the pronunciation. That's it, you know? So that's something I want to attack today. You said yes that you need to start listening to British English. I think that's a good idea, but we need to see it as a general thing. So
Okay.
let's try to figure out why this is different. In the case of Jamil, how do you feel with your listening? How do you feel with your speaking? How do you feel with your progress so far?
Hi, teacher.
Hi.
I think that I mm, I have an advantage. No, how is it? Advance. Can I use this like a mistake? You know, no, advance is different. Mm,
Did you feel that you have a what?
I was thinking it advance, but it's like
Oh, use the magic word. The magic question. What is the magic
uh,
question or
where,
vocabulary?
where is no? How do you say avance?
Exactly. Progress.
Progress. Okay, it's
Yes,
easier word.
that's it.
Okay, I think that mm, I have a progress. I have progress. But sometimes I forget the words or the vocabulary
Mhm.
that I learned maybe the last month or the
Yes.
last week. I learned and I can use it, but maybe one reason is because I don't use all this vocabulary all the time. But okay, some words I learned better than other words.
Some
Some
words you
words
learn
I
better.
can use then or something when I am talking with a friend in English
Mhm.
or whatever. Mm, but other words I forgot. I forgot other words. And when someone tell me that what word I am looking for,
Mhm.
uh, it is one word that I have learned in the past. Is I need to practice
Like
more this,
progress.
but I have this type of problems. But
Like progress, no?
yes,
Mhm. Yeah, and that's something that you like in this case is very Jesus Christ, it's very personal. The thing about vocabulary and forgetting words, it's a very personal issue. You need to be exposed to to the language constantly until you get all the new words automatically. So you need to be like watching something or listening to anything, like exposing yourself to the language.
yes. But sometimes the problem that I have is more when I am talking
Mhm.
and less when I am listening. Um, when I am listening, sometimes I can understand more, but
Mhm.
when I am talking, the words disappear from my mind, and
Uh-huh.
this is the thing that normally happen to me.
That's there's something very interesting in what you just said, which is very similar to Rox's issue, and Jessica's issue, and Karen's issue, which is we are not checking, we are not seeing the connection between those abilities. We see listening independent from speaking. We don't see the utility of using one to reinforce the other. If I am good in listening, then I need to use that ability to learn more words and to memorize more words.
Yes,
You see what I mean? And
yes,
this is the same with yesterday's debate. I don't need British English. I only need to speak. Well, technically it is the same, no? So we are checking the different areas of the language independently. We are not connecting them. That's why I insist on listening a lot of English everywhere. What happens if one day you sit down and you listen to a podcast and you repeat the words that they say in a podcast? You know, like repeat, 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 repeat 2 minutes of videos, a video that you are interested in, whatever video, the video that you like, and then you copy phrases that you like. For example, in my free time, when I have nothing to do, when I am taking a shower, for example, because that's another problem, no? Many students will say, "No, no, I don't have time, teacher." I will show you that you have. You are going to take a shower. You find I normally use this guy. I hear Penguins out. I really like this guy. He's so funny. And he speaks about things that I am interested
I was an extra.
For example, let's say his review on Venom.
Don't let the title confuse you. It's still not a good movie, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone is painting it as. I think it's overhated. Just saw Venom.
That's it. Only 10 seconds. There's so much information in 10 seconds. So then I hear the word overhated, overhated, overhated. And I repeat the word in my mind. Overhated. What is overhated? Over, more. Hated comes from hate. People hate this movie. Overhated. Venom is overhated. And then I read the title. And then I see new Venom movie is overhated. Okay. So he is talking about the movie and he is saying that many people dislike the movie. Do you see what I mean? The connections that I did?
Yes. Yes.
Right? In only 10 seconds of the video, we can learn a lot and I can extract a word that I I considered interesting. For me, the word overhated was interesting. So then I copy and I repeat overhated, overhated. What else is overhated apart from Venom? The Joker movie. The Joker movie was so overhated. Many people hate that movie. I loved that movie. The Joker movie was overhated. What else is overhated? Do you understand overhated?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. I don't know if we have a word in Spanish like that.
Well,
Mm,
you don't need it.
yes. Yes. But
That's a second step, you know?
yes.
Forget about Spanish.
Okay.
Overheated, over, very, hated. A lot of people hate. Overhated, too hated, excessively hated.
Mhm.
Finish. You don't need a word in Spanish for that. If you want to search for the word in Spanish, do it after you memorize the word. That's later. Before, find examples. What else is overhated, guys? In my opinion, the Joker movie was overhated. A lot of people hate Adrian Marcelo. In my opinion, he was overhated. They needed to hate the girl too. You know, they need to hate the TV show in general. You know,
Okay.
what is the opposite of over? This is an intermediate ability.
Infra?
Opposite of over,
I don't know.
infra. That's Spanish.
Okay.
So here the issue that is in general in the group is that we are translating everything. We feel the necessity to find the word in Spanish.
Subhater? No?
Sub can be, but that's not sub. Sure,
Okay.
close, close, close. Over is a preposition. The airplane passes over the neighborhood, but the subway passes
Under.
exactly the opposite of over, under. So what is the opposite of overhated? Underhated. And then I feel creative. Underhated. Underhated exists? Probably yes. What is underhated? A thing that is not hated enough. Like La Casa de los Famosos. People should hate that TV show, in my opinion. Should. They don't do it, they love it, but people should hate that TV show, in my opinion. If you like the TV show, that's okay. Right? I will block you, but no problem. You know? underhated. What else is underhated? You know? Give me examples now. Anyone? Something that is overhated or underhated. What do you say?
Something that is overrated.
Jesse, your microphone was super lost. I cannot hear you.
Sorry. An example.
Uh, an example of what?
Of something that is overrated.
Exactly.
For example, in Mexico, it's well, some people in Mexico overrated morena.
Okay, that's a good idea. Now, your example was very, very good, clear in your mind, but now your structure was not correct
Okay.
because you said many people overhated morena, but overhated is not a verb. In this sentence, what is the verb?
Is
Aha. So what you need is to copy the structure too. And this is how the reading can help you with your speaking.
okay.
It's a copy paste.
Mhm.
In Mexico,
Mexico is overrated morena.
Spanglish.
Oh.
Person verb complement.
Some people. No.
Don't add more information. You have enough information.
Morena is
Morena is.
overrated.
Perfect. That is the word. This is the same format that you have in this text. New Venom movie is overheated. Not is overheated. New Venom movie.
Yes.
Do you agree? So now reading helps you on your speaking. Listening helps you comprehension. Vocabulary helps your speaking and reading and comprehension. And everything is connected. And this is all the analysis I bring from 10 seconds of video. And then I can continue.
3, The Last Dance. This is the final installment in the Venom trilogy. And
Venom trilogy, Venom trilogy, Venom trilogy. I repeat the word 3 times. Venom trilogy, trilogy. Do you understand trilogy? Everybody repeat trilogy.
Trilogy.
Trilogy. Good. What other trilogies exist?
The Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings.
Batman trilogy.
Wait. The Lord of the Rings saga. The Lord of the Rings series. The Lord of the Rings
Lord of the Rings saga.
trilogy, Karen. Practice the word that you heard in the audio.
Okay.
Use your listening to use more words in your speaking. Transfer the words from your listening to your speaking.
Okay, teacher.
So again, what trilogy?
The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yes, Jamil, another example?
Batman trilogy.
The Batman trilogy. Jesse, another trilogy?
Oh my God. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man comics, Spider-Man series,
Spider-Man trilogy.
trilogy. Practice the word.
Okay.
Use like speak it. You know, copy, transfer. Copy and transfer. Continue.
and it's definitely not going out on a high note. It's not exactly a banger to sail off into the sunset with, but I do.
Did you hear sunset?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Did you hear definitely?
Yes, teacher.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Copy cookies.
Going out on a high note. It's not exactly a banger to. And The Last Dance. This is the final installment in the Venom trilogy, and it's definitely not going out on a high note. It's not exactly.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Everybody repeat. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Ah, very good. You see? Si no piensan en español, ya no dicen definitely. ¿Sí o no?
Yes.
Todos pronunciaron perfecto ahorita. Definitely. Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. And now I give examples. Charlie, his name is Charlie. He says, this movie is definitely not going to be a Walk in the Sunset, which is people won't like the movie. What other expression can in what other expression can I copy the cookie? Definitely not. Give an opinion. I have the iPhone 14. This year came out the iPhone 16. I'm definitely not buying a new phone this year, the next year, probably in the next 5 years, because the iPhones are definitely not adding many features. The new iPhone is definitely not so different to my iPhone. So I can continue with the same phone until it breaks. I'm definitely not buying a new phone the next 3 years. Do you understand?
Yes, teacher.
I used the same cookie 4 times in the same example. Try it yourself. Give me an example using definitely not. Definitely not.
The guy of the video is definitely not brother to Steve Aoki.
He looks like him a lot.
Yes.
He's definitely not the brother of Steve Aoki, though a lot of people think he is.
Yes.
Yeah. There is a video where he speaks about it. He
Really?
said, no, guys, I'm not Steve Aoki's lost brother. He says,
I was how was it? It was guessing? No. Yeah. I forgot. Inventando. Invent.
That's a phrasal verb. I was coming up.
Coming up. Okay.
Mm.
I was coming up.
With. Coming up with it.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
haven't
perfect.
seen, haven't seen the videos.
Yeah, you should listen to him. He's so cool. But yeah, that's an excellent example. You are coming up with examples. Come up with examples. Bring it up. You
Come
know?
up. Okay.
Come up with examples at the moment. He's definitely not Steve Aoki's lost brother. I agree with you. He's not. Good. What else? Karen, Jesse, give me a one definitely not example.
Teacher, it's possible to say it's definitely not necessary to
Not
buy
necessary.
a new set or
Okay, can you repeat?
it's definitely not necessary to buy.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. To buy, not to boy. Boy
Sorry.
is my boy Fernando Jr.
No, no,
You
no.
know?
No.
So that's very different.
Okay. It's
Definitely.
to 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 buy a new cell phone when
But
you
Complete, eh? You omitted definitely not. One more time.
It's definitely not to buy a new cell phone.
What
Yep.
happened to necessary?
It's definitely not necessary to buy to sorry to buy a new cell phone.
Yes, agree. It's definitely not necessary to buy a new cell phone.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Perfect. Jessica Asmore, give me a definitely not.
Definitely not. This movie is going to win Grammy.
Perfect. Okay, your example is fantastic, but it's in an incorrect order.
Oh, I mean.
Put the words in the correct position. Person, verb, complement.
This movie
Ah,
definitely movie
you can. This movie?
this movie definitely no
Mhm.
is going to win a Grammy.
The verb to be goes before definitely.
Mm,
Because listen to Charlie. Where does he say the verb to be?
Exactly a boy, and it's definitely not going out.
Yes, before
It's
definitely not.
So he said is and then definitely not. You can copy that format in your conversation.
Okay. So this movie definitely not.
This
No.
movie is
This movie is definitely not going to win a Grammy.
exactly, Yesi. That is correct. You just learned how to include adverbs in your conversation. What do you say? Okay, teacher, but now what? Yeah, I mean, you used an adverb. Voila, Yay. Hooray. No, no celebration. No.
Teacher,
Yes, Jamil, what's up?
sorry, what was the word that you said about in Spanish inventar algo?
Come up.
Come up? Okay.
Come up with.
With okay.
Is to produce an answer, to produce an idea. You come up with something. In the classes, you come up with examples. Right?
Right, teacher. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sorry, Mister, my internet.
Your internet, yes, failed. No problem. No
A
problem
moment,
at all.
and it get off me.
No, it took me out.
Took me out
Took
of
me
the
out
class. Sorry,
from the class.
from the classes.
Yes, again, complete cookies.
It took it me.
Again. Tuki,
It
tuki, tuki,
took
tuki.
it took
Who?
me off
Opposite of in.
out. It took me out from the class.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's a copy paste format. This is the thing about English. It's a copy paste practice. If you know how to imitate, you can speak English. Easy as that. It's an imitation game. This is my personal view, the way I learned English. But I understand that not everybody is the same. And I understand that everybody learns differently. So sometimes the things that work for me won't work for everybody. And this is where I needed to explore other ideas, other solutions, other people talking about it. And I saw, we are not going to have time to see everything, but I have a list of videos that I want to show you.
Hey there, it's Hadar. Thank you for
Shut up. I really want you to see it with me, especially the study plan in advanced. The listening section. Let's check the listening section first. And then I'm going to send you the other video where we speak about intermediate English and how difficult it is. So let's start over here. This is Brittany, and she's an English teacher. Okay? She's talking about listening because this is the principal problem in general in the group. So we are going to start with this one, and then we talk about intermediate English. Let's watch it.
You would have gone straight to the bottom.
Here is a listening test for you. What is this person saying?
You would have gone straight to the bottom. You would have gone straight to the bottom.
I would have gone with you to the end. I would have gone with you to the end.
Where else was I supposed to bring him? Where else was I supposed to bring him?
Today I have my little whiteboard with me, and we're going to quickly look at 5 elements of spoken English that can sometimes make English speakers difficult to understand. But first, here are the answers to our little test.
You would have gone straight to the bottom. You would have gone straight to the bottom.
I would have gone with you to the end. I would have gone with you to the end.
Where else was I supposed to bring him? Where else was I supposed to bring him?
Many of my high-level English students tell me that they're very frustrated at reaching a high level, but still not being able to understand native speakers when they're speaking very quickly, or not being able to understand series or movies spoken in quick English. I know it's frustrating, and frankly, it's not your fault, because written English and spoken English are 2 completely different systems, and often the details of spoken English are not explicitly taught in the English classroom. I apologize that my voice sounds a little bit gravelly today. I have a little bit of a cold. Once you start to look for these 5 details when you're listening to English, your ears will open up and you'll start to recognize them more and more. Okay, so we're going to begin today with reduced function words. In order to start understanding fast, naturally spoken English, it's important to understand that every language on earth has a specific rhythm to it, and often these rhythms are very different from each other. When our ears are not yet adjusted to the rhythm, it's hard to understand what's going on. Most languages of the world are what is called syllable-timed languages. So languages such as Spanish, French, Polish, Cantonese. These languages look something like this. This means that the amount of time it takes to say a sentence in Spanish, for example, depends on the number of syllables that are in that sentence. English, on the other hand, is what is called a stress-timed language, and it looks something like this, meaning that it doesn't matter how many syllables are in a sentence in English, the amount of time it takes to say a sentence in English depends on the number of stresses that are in that sentence. Stay with me, hold on. So there are basically two types of words in English. We have content words and we have function words. Content words are words like your nouns, your verbs, your adverbs, your adjectives, your question words like why, when, what, your demonstratives like this, that, these, those. And content words in spoken English are usually stressed. That means that we say them strongly. We say them forcefully, like I'm doing right now. The words that are usually unstressed or weak are function words. We can also say reduced. So reduced, weak, unstressed. And function words are a lot of words. Function words are words like articles and the prepositions such as at, to, of, auxiliaries such as will, have, in forms of the verb be, pronouns such as her, him, it, them, conjunctions such as and, or, as, that, relative pronouns such as that, which, who. In spoken English, sometimes we give function words special importance, and so we will stress them. But often in speaking, these kinds of words, function words, are reduced, or they're said in their weak form. Why is this important to know? Well, if you look back at our little picture from a minute ago, you'll see that the function words here are these little shorter people here. If we start listening to an English conversation, expecting all of these function words to sound like adults in the picture, if we're expecting the function words to sound like they look on paper, we are going to be lost. So we need to know what these function words sound like when they're reduced. Let's look at a movie example.
She doesn't want any of her clothes. 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 She doesn't want any of her clothes.
She doesn't want any of her clothes. She doesn't want any of her clothes. She doesn't want any of her clothes. She doesn't want any of her clothes.
She doesn't want any of her clothes.
Does seems to completely disappear here.
She doesn't want any of her clothes.
And want is really stressed.
She doesn't want any of her clothes.
We really need to get used to, we really need to adjust our ears to what function words sound like when they're weakened, when they are reduced. The bad news is that there are a million ways that function words get reduced in English. There's a lot to learn. For example, in speaking, we often do not say can. Can is the strong form of the function word, can. In speaking, we'll often say can. Can. That's the weak form. Can I have a glass of water? Often becomes can.
Can I have a glass of water, please? Can I have a glass of water, please? Can I have a glass of water, please?
Can I have? Can I? Can I? Can I? That's the bad news. There's a lot of different things to learn. The good news is there are fun ways to learn this. You can learn this watching series and watching movies and watching YouTube. So let's look at an example here. I chose some clips that use the word them, which is a function word that is often reduced. Maybe you know, how is them usually reduced in speaking? So in its strong form, it's pronounced them. How do we usually say this in spoken English? M or We're often talking about using a schwa sound, which is That's the most common sound in English, Them, on paper, does not have a schwa in it, them. However, in speaking, we will use a schwa sound and just say take take All right, so let's look at an example.
I don't know where they are. You let them go. I don't know where they are. You let them go. I don't know where they are. You let them go. I don't know where they are. You let them go.
You let them go. You let them go. You let them go.
I don't know where they are. You let them go.
If you're looking for let them go, you're going to be lost, right? So we need to learn to recognize function words are often reduced. Here's another one.
Where else was I supposed to bring him? Where else was I supposed to bring him? Where else was I supposed to bring him?
Where else was I supposed to bring them? Bring them. Bring them. Supposed to is also reduced here to supposed to, supposed to, supposed to. Not supposed to, but supposed to, supposed to, supposed to.
Where else was I supposed to bring him?
To is a strong form that often gets reduced to t, supposed to, supposed to. Where else was I supposed to bring them? At first, this can seem annoying, frustrating, completely overwhelming, but once you start to look for it, okay, to is going to be t. When I watch series, I'm not going to look for to, I'm going to look for t. And this is also in certain words, today, tomorrow. In speaking, you won't often hear today. You'll hear today, today. You won't often hear tomorrow, tomorrow. You'll hear tomorrow, tomorrow. And once you start to look for this, you see it everywhere. Put on a series in English that you love, that you find interesting. Put the English subtitles on. Read the English subtitles, but listen for the function words. Listen for the reduced function words and how they're actually pronounced. It's going to blow your mind. And it will open up your ears. Next up on our list, number 2.
That was point 1. Switch to Spanish. ¿Qué entendieron del punto 1?
I understand that in the first part, that is reduced function words, the words that the people that talks in English normally change the sound of these words, and she is teaching us how these words sound when the people talk in the people talk normally.
Correct.
And okay.
Do you see the connection between these sounds and pronunciation?
How? I don't know if you.
Okay. Here's the thing. I want to speak Spanish for this.
Okay.
Spanish. Repito la pregunta, a ver si la tienes. La conexión entre lo que estás diciendo y pronunciación. ¿Qué conexión hay entre esas dos?
¿En lo que estoy diciendo yo? ¿O lo que...
Ajá. Le acabas de decir que los sonidos de las palabras cambian de acuerdo a la... Que más bien los nativos lo cambian. Cambian
Ajá.
algunos sonidos de las letras.
Sí.
Con esa información, ¿cómo conectarías tú la pronunciación y el cambio de sonidos que hacen los nativos? Y si no, alguien que nos ayude. ¿Qué conexión ven entre pronunciación y...
¿Lo hacen como
los cambios de sonido?
más fácil? No, no sé.
Ok, interesante.
O sea, bueno,
Ajá.
más fácil para ellos. O sea, como que así como nosotros reducimos palabras, también ellos como que ya no dicen las frases completas, sino que van quitando pedacitos que se entienden.
Ok. Pero ¿qué conexión hay entre eso y la pronunciación? O sea, ¿cómo pronuncias tú la palabra? Creo que no, ahí es donde lo estamos viendo separado. Vamos a verlo de esta forma. Si yo, uno de los ejemplos que ella dijo fue la reducción de la palabra them. ¿Cuál era la reducción de la palabra them? N1.
Lo decía como en M.
Ajá, eso, ajá. Se le quitaba la TH, ¿no? Y sonaba solamente am. Y entonces pone un ejemplo en donde él dice,
Let them go. I don't know where they are. You let them go.
you let them go. Let them. Everybody pronunciation. You let them go.
You let him go.
Go.
Que es lo mismo que acabamos de hacer con el video de Charlie. La palabra, definitely not, no dijimos definitely not, ¿no? La cambiamos a definitely not, definitely not, definitely not. Y aquí se transformó en vez de ser let them, es let them, let them, let them. Aquí va la conexión que estoy tratando que encuentren. Si tú pronuncias let them, va a ser mucho más fácil entender let them. Vas a entender cuando ellos digan let them. Y entonces ya vas a decir de forma natural, ah, dijo them. Let them. Let them who? The people. Y ya lo puedes asociar con they, them, they, the people. Entonces se vuelve una serie de asociaciones para las cuales no necesitas español. ¿Yo sí? Entonces, del entendimiento del audio, usamos el alfabeto para visualizar la palabra y ya que visualizamos la palabra, encontramos conexiones con otros contextos. Them, they, the people. ¿De quién está hablando? Ah, de ellos. En la película pasó que tal, entonces está hablando de tales. Y todo se empieza a conectar. Right? Pero si tú pronuncias let them, let them, let them, let them todo el tiempo, es muy probable que se te escape este let them. Ahí es donde yo insisto con la buena pronunciación cuando leemos los textos que les pongo en pantalla. Textos como este. Aquí es donde es tan importante pronunciar correctamente y que ustedes se enfoquen en pronunciar correctamente, porque aquí, sin que se den cuenta, están ejercitando listening. Al leer, ejercitas listening. Qué sorpresa, ¿no? ¿Quién lo diría? Questions.
Can I say it in Spanish?
Por favor.
Ah,
Yo estoy hablando español.
gracias. Y por
¿No?
ejemplo, o sea, es como imposible que te aprendas todas las palabras como en la pronunciación, pero si te aprendes como así, como esta, ¿no? Let 'em, con eso ya lo puedes entender o si tienes que
Pero,
aprenderte.
pero ¿por qué es imposible?
Pues es que, por ejemplo, botella igual lo dicen diferente, ¿no? Bottle, ¿no?
Claro,
Ajá. Entonces sí tienes como que pronunciarlas como de esa manera todas.
correcto.
Mm,
Todas. Porque el inglés es todo igualito.
ok.
Y al mejorar tu pronunciación, si pronuncias todas, no solo algunas, entiendes todo.
Y algunas como contracciones, porque sí existen diferentes, ¿no? Esa sí es.
Ese es el segundo punto que ella va a tocar en el video.
Ah, ok,
Know
ok.
where they are. You let them
El
go.
siguiente punto es connected speech. Que es saber cuándo las palabras están pegadas unas con otras, pero ese es el segundo punto.
Ok, ok.
Aquí
Sí,
el primero es sobre pronunciación.
ok.
Pues por supuesto que vas a encontrar y vas a saber la palabra for, ya todos sabemos la palabra for, ya la conocemos, pero al momento de escucharla resulta que nadie entiende cuando dicen for. Y estamos hablando de un conector de A1.
Sí.
¿Por qué fue? Ah, porque la persona dijo fur. Y el británico dice fo. Fa. Chin. Ya no se parece al for que yo me aprendí. O el for que yo digo. ¿Me explicó?
Ok.
Tantito lo pronunciamos con nuestros sonidos nativos, termina siendo imposible entonces escuchar a una persona extranjera. ¿Ven? Entonces, este punto primario es de los más importantes. La razón por la cual les enseño fonética. La razón por la cual les hago repetir una oración 30,000 veces. Porque si no sale la oración, no le damos de importancia y nos queremos seguir, teacher, pero yo ya entendí el texto. ¿Para qué me lo haces repetir? Ah, porque sigues pronunciando, no sé, aquí puede haber una palabra, agerly. Seguimos diciendo agerly, agerly, agerly. No te puedo pasar así, no puedo asegurar que ya conoces esta palabra si la pronuncias como agerly. Si pronuncias gathered, si los verbos en pasado le pones la ed cuando no va la ed, ¿saben? Son todos esos detallotes. El pasado de feel es felt, no felt. ¿Me explicó? Desde ahí está la importancia. Entonces, entender a un británico no es entender británico, es entender inglés en general. Porque estamos pronunciando inglés en general. La pronunciación te lleva al entendimiento. ¿Tiene sentido?
Teacher.
Yes, sir.
Guys, we have homework. ¿Sí o no? So, vamos a dedicarle otras pláticas, ¿no? A esta, a este análisis, porque siento que estamos descubriendo cosas que yo asumía estaban pre-enseñadas. Y no al contrario. Creo que sí tenemos que analizar la fuente de la razón de por qué no nos está funcionando ciertas prácticas. Y vemos qué tal nos va después de que hagamos otros ejercicios. ¿Les parece?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I gotta bounce. ¿Qué? I gotta bounce. Debo de salir volando. Bounce es botar. I gotta bounce. My planet needs me. I'll see you tomorrow. Right?
Teacher, sí.
See you tomorrow.
Awesome. See you tomorrow.
Teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.